How far would you go to protect your best friend from danger? Despite their ups and downs, Wednesday Addams decided to throw caution to the wind at the end of the second season. Instead of returning home with the rest of her family, she teamed up with Uncle Fester to chart a journey north while they'll search for Enid and try to bring her home. Unfortunately, they've left numerous enemies behind and will undoubtedly encounter more on their next adventure. As all of these forces collide, the numerous storylines from Wednesday could come together and culminate in an all-out war between factions. Today's video will explore this dangerous possibility and the final nail in the coffin that could start such a significant conflict. Number 1. The Werewolves move in. Enid learned a lot when faced with her alpha status. The most pressing being that other werewolves would shun her forever, viewing her as dangerous and unpredictable. Instead of the strong and notable leaders we expect alphas to be, in the Wednesday universe they're viewed as loose cannons who get rejected by other packs. Due to this, Enid may never have a pack to call her own, something that's detrimental to her character, as she spent the entire first season trying to fit in and the second season flourishing in her newfound popularity. She loved being a member of the pack, and losing that support in the third season will undoubtedly have lasting effects. More importantly, she won't find another pack willing to take her in or give her refuge as she moves northward. In fact, the opposite will happen. As other werewolves catch her scent or hear of her presence, they will band together to hunt her down. Enid's life is in terrible danger because of this, and there are few people she will be able to trust. Wednesday is one of her only allies going into the third season, but even so, the werewolves hunting Enid might become the catalyst for an all-out war. Isadora Capri might want to help Enid and lead the Hides, like Tyler, to protect her, or Enid might encounter other alphas during her journey and they could band together for strength in numbers. Either way, the situation would lead to a pack versus pack conflict. Number 2. The Hide Pack wants Enid. Building on the Hide Pack, or the one that Capri might create with Tyler at her side, they might want to bring Enid home from the very start of the third season. Professor Capri took a special interest in Enid, offering her guidance when no one else would. Her role in the last season seemed like that of an aloof and quirky professor, but she always had a layer of unease about her as well. I don't know about you, but I was waiting for the shoe to drop and for that final reveal to happen so that we knew which side Capri actually landed on at the end of the day. As it turns out, Capri's not only a werewolf who felt sympathetic to Enid, but she's also part Hyde. A fact she reveals to Tyler at the tail end of the season as she offers him a spot in a secret support group for outcasts like them. There, he won't need to rely on a master for guidance, and he might learn how to live an everyday life without giving in to his murderous impulses. Does this desperate attempt at normalcy sound familiar? As alphas are also known to be unpredictable and dangerous, they're shunned just as much as Hides. Since Capri has a foot in both worlds, she might send her Hide Pack to search for Enid and bring her home. Of course, doing so might interfere with the hunt of other werewolves, leading to a much larger conflict. Number 3. Tyler fails to bridge the gap. Tyler's had quite the history at Jericho. When he made his debut in the first season, he seemed like nothing more than a misunderstood normie who had a soft spot for the new outcast in Jericho. Few of us expected Wednesday to get a love interest with the series, but Tyler managed to sweep all of us off our feet by becoming Wednesday's close friend and confidant. His place in her life made the seasons twist her all the more as we discover he's the one behind the recent string of attacks and murders around Nevermore Academy. Of course, as a Hyde forced to hide in plain sight, he was always going to be a master manipulator. He continues to be in the second season and beyond, showing that he has the mind and ambition to become an S-class villain. He even goes out of his way to murder his former master, granting himself a freedom that few Hides have. Of course, at the end of the second season, he's approached by Capri with a new opportunity. She introduces him to a secret support group for other Hides. There, he will learn to live without a master to guide him in how to resist his violent tendencies. With help from other like-minded individuals, especially those who learn to integrate into normal society, Tyler has a shot at an everyday life. If it's something he wants, then he might feel indebted to Capri and willing to do anything to repay his debt. As a werewolf-Hyde hybrid, Capri has a unique perspective, and she might want to bridge the gap between the two types of packs. Tyler could become the poster child for this effort, preaching unity, peace, and safety in numbers. Unfortunately, if their outreach failed, it might result in a full-on war between the two groups. Number 4. Isaac Knight's research creates a divide. One of the season's biggest highlights had to be Pugsley's move to Nevermore Academy. It gives die-hard Addams Family fans the chance to know and love this rendition of the character. He's a classic teenage boy desperate to make friends and enamored by the creepy crawlies in their world. I wasn't at all surprised when his best friend became the bug-controlling Eugene and the zombie he reanimated by accident. We all knew that Pugsley keeping Slurp was a recipe for disaster, but it didn't become significant until Slurp escaped from Willow Hill alongside the other patients. A zombie on the loose, he had the freedom to devour anyone he found within Jericho's borders. As he used their brains to rebuild his strength and regenerate his mind, he returned to the man he was in life, Isaac Knight. a brilliant inventor who once graced the halls of Nevermore Academy. Isaac lost his life after an experiment gone wrong. However, once he returned to his right mind, he used his second chance at life to help his recently escaped sister, Francois, also a patient at Willow Hill, separate Tyler from his Hyde form. Tyler doesn't want to lose that part of himself, leading to a conflict that ends in his mother's death. However, Tyler's reluctance doesn't speak to the Hyde community or the werewolves who might use Knight's resources to develop their own cure. The two groups might go to a war in an attempt to achieve a semblance of normalcy. Number 5. Ophelia's role. Aside from Slurp's true identity, another mystery throughout the season was the fate of Ophelia, Wednesday's maternal aunt. After Morticia moves to Nevermore Academy to work on the committee and keep an eye on her daughter, she makes frequent references to Ophelia. She can't help but notice similarities between Wednesday and her sister, believing that they each have remarkably similar abilities. Unfortunately, she realizes that Wednesday is making the same mistakes and misusing her psychic skills and steps in to prevent her daughter from ending up as her sister. We get glimpses throughout the season that hint at Ophelia's mental state before her disappearance, and it's implied that her visions pushed her toward insanity. We don't discover what truly happened to Ophelia until the final moments of the season. As Hester, also known as Grandmama, walks into her basement, she enters a prison-like chamber. Within, she finds Ophelia writing an alarming message on the wall. The wall reads, "Wednesday must die." Ophelia's prediction lines up with Wednesday's last premonition, which also promises that a member of the Addams family will soon meet their end. I doubt she suspects that person will be herself, but her estranged aunt may have a role to play in her imminent death. We don't know the circumstances that led to Ophelia's capture, her current mental state, or where her loyalties lie. We can only be sure that she'll have a significant part in the third season and that her actions could spark an all-out war. Number 6. Nevermore's loyalty to Enid. A final motivator for an all-out war comes from Nevermore's loyalty to Wednesday and Enid. After they helped protect the school from various threats in the previous year, they returned to find themselves at the height of popularity. While Wednesday hated being a local hero, Enid thrived. She took to her popularity like a moth to a flame because she wanted nothing more than to belong. Not to mention, unlocking her wolf form at the end of the previous school year allowed her to connect with Nevermore's wolf pack, where she made numerous friendships and found a new partner in Bruno. While she might think her new pack will reject her because of her alpha status, it's also possible they'll reject the status quo and do everything in their power to help her instead. They, alongside the other students at Nevermore, could rally together and become an army at Enid's back, prepared to defend her from whatever threats come her way. The stakes have never been higher as we approach the third season of Wednesday. I'm excited to see where the plot goes now that our main characters have abandoned Nevermore for a new setting, which will undoubtedly lead them to new enemies, allies, and mysteries to solve. There's no doubt that trouble will follow Wednesday and Enid wherever they go, and that tensions begin to brew between the different outcast factions, so they'll need to be on their guard if they want to make it out of the season alive. What do you think is in store for Wednesday and her friends? Let us know your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.